Hello, welcome to the Bald Explorer's Sunday Chat with me, Richard Vobes, for the 3rd of January 2021. Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to my Sunday Chat, the chance I get to sort of bring you up to speed with the plans and the bits and bobs that are going on in the world of the Bald Explorer. Thank you very much for coming along and watching and supporting this video, and indeed supporting the channel. And may I also thank all those wonderful people who've put their hands in their pockets over the last month and helped me keep these videos coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now, as ever, on my Sunday Chat, I've got a list of items to go through and chat with you. So, it's a new year. Gosh, let's hope that this year is a lot different and more positive than next year. And on that note, I've made a New Year's resolution that I'm going to do my best in my Naked Englishman podcast, which is a podcast readily available to anybody who wants to listen to behind the scenes of a YouTube creator, which is at nakedenglishman.co.uk. It's a raw podcast that I record on a little portable recorder each day and give you sort of background information of what I'm thinking about, my feelings, sometimes about my politics, sometimes moans and groans. But I've decided this year I'm going to try and keep all of those things positive. So there may be things going wrong in my life that I want to talk about, but I'll try and keep my efforts to keep it going positive. So that's my main New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, New Year's resolution. Yes, there we go. There is, of course, in January, cold weather, and I was listening to the radio this morning, and there was the threat of the beast from the east returning. We had it a couple of years ago where this very cold Siberian weather was coming, and it's predicted that we're going to have some more very cold weather and possibly blustery showers and things like that, but mainly the cold. Now, this may well prevent me from getting out further afield to do the Sussex border walks. I'm hoping it won't, but I know the equipment is probably fine in cold weather, but it's the old boy in front of it who may not survive quite so well. So while I still am going to be continuing with the Sussex border walk, which has gone down very well, and people have given me some lovely comments and many thumbs up on it. Thank you for that. And I know I'm not getting all the facts right. I'm not really intending to be a historian. I say this many times, just for those people who've come to it afresh and think, well, Richard, sometimes you get these things wrong. Try not to worry about it. It really doesn't matter. I'm just giving a vague impression of what it's like on the Sussex border as I walk along. And if I get a few bits of the details wrong, it really isn't the end of the world. This isn't a history lesson, okay? It's just a bit of fun. However, because of the cold, I may not get round as much in January and February as much as I like. Plus, there are places that are going to look so much better in the springtime. That said, though, I did aim to start this walk in the winter, and initially I thought I would manage to get round in the winter. But going at the pace I'm going, I've realised that the county is far, far bigger than I'd realised and much more interesting and deserves a slightly slower pace. So the Sussex border walk will continue, but on the as and when basis, if that's all right. So I will be doing more local walks and possibly walks that I've done before, but hopefully with a different eye. Often I go on a walk that I've been to before, I'll return to a walk that I've been to before, and it's a different season. So there's different things to look out. And also if I have done similar bits, I may cross over and go past an area, but then try and vary it a bit, just so that one can get out and make a video that is interesting. So when it is these cold days, if I can get out and do a walk and make it, then I will do my best, of course. But there will be inside stuff to come on those days which are just too atrocious or too wet, too muddy, too cold, too nasty, or I'm just fed up with it all and want to stay warm by the fire. And who would blame me? And by the way, I know a number of people do say, Richard, wear a hat. And they come out with some strange statistics to say how much body heat is lost through not wearing a hat in the cold. Well, I've looked into this, but that is actually a bit of an urban myth, that very little heat is lost through the head because of the shape of the head, its spherical nature. The heat isn't shooting up there. Heat is actually more lost on your chest than on your head, and you'll notice that I cover up most of my body. My hands I will get some gloves for, have no fear about that. So please don't keep plaguing me about whether I should have a hat on or not. I'm making a video. And when you make videos, part of your overall look and appearance is part of it. So I go under the moniker of the Bald Explorer. And while you know that I'm bald, I don't want you to worry. I may be wearing a hat in between takes. But if it was a period drama, you would imagine that people would wear period costumes, even if those period costumes were a bit skimpy and inappropriate for the weather. You wouldn't expect them suddenly to put on clothes that were inappropriate. So I'm going to not necessarily be wearing a hat, although I may when there's a very sharp wind. So just please don't worry about it. I am a big boy now, and I do know what I'm doing. So that's that. Also, I want to try and concentrate a little bit more on the seasons this year when I'm going for a walk, looking specifically at what's going on in nature and around me during the seasons. It gives me a chance to learn what happens in the seasons, what buds are coming out and all of that. It gives me a focus, and hopefully it's interesting too, rather than just a walk from A to B. So even though it may be a similar place that I've been to before, I want to just change the focus somewhat so that there's something a little bit more interesting than normal. So that's that. You'll also notice that I'll be wearing a couple of new jumpers. My jumpers have gone down a storm. People do like them, and people often ask, where do you get them? And is the pattern available? And all of this. And now, during the winter months, they've become a little bit of a trademark with me, and I love them dearly. One of my viewers, Mary Hammond, makes them for me. I commission her to make them. She made me one jumper, and I said, I've got to have more. And I said, how much? And she gave me the price, and I said yes. And I've commissioned a couple of more jumpers to vary them, because so that I'm not in the same standard colours that you see, just to add a bit of spice to the videos. You know, what jumper will he be wearing this time? It's all a bit of fun, really. So that's good. I'm also, during the winter months and the spring, I think because we've still got these tears and we've got this threat of the virus and all of that, and people are worried, I thought it would be interesting to look also at things that are supposedly good for your health. Now, I know a couple of herbalists who watch my stuff and who I can contact and ask questions about, and we hope to do more of that. So I drink a lot of coffee. And it's just instant coffee. It's probably not the best idea in the world because of the different oils they put in order to retain the flavour and the taste and things. So I want to try and reduce my tea and coffee intake. I'm not going to get rid of it altogether. I think that's silly. I enjoy it very much. But I want to try a few herbal infusions, homemade ones if possible, rather than the bought packet mass-produced things. So at the moment here, I have a hot mug of water. But in the water, I have freshly grated ginger and some chopped up lemon. So lemon and ginger, just in its natural form, with a bit of boiling water. Put in this rather delightful little infusion pot. I don't know what it's called. It's probably got a proper name than that. So I'm going to try this. This is a drink, actually. I have quite a lot. But in the winter, it's good. And I need to find out what these things are good for. I'd like to learn a little bit about that. in the future as well. So as you get a little bit older, it is wise, of course, to look after your health. And I think in these day and age, when eventually we're going to have to find a way to live with these varying strains of whatever viruses come our way, is to look after ourselves as best we can with natural ingredients. And I can tell you, that is delicious. Not only is it delicious, it's very refreshing. And it's warming, and it's all good for you. And I love it. So that was that. Let's have a look what else is on my list. Oh, yes. So a number of things I want to introduce is conversations, or monologues, I suppose these would be, maybe at home, maybe out and about as well, talking about life's observations. I'm in my mid to late 50s now. And you get to a point in life, I think, when there's a certain maturity going through you and you're looking forward to the rest of your life and what you're going to be doing. And I have no wish to stop what I'm doing. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But certain things happen to you and reflect on you. So I'm going to continue my story videos that I do, my story videos, talking about my early life. But also I want to talk about things in life in general. I haven't yet thrashed that out. It's something that's been on my mind, taking a subject and mulling it over, exploring a subject. I'm still exploring, mainly heritage, landscape and nature, but I may be in the landscape when I'm perhaps exploring, I don't know, the aging process, or I don't know, failing eyesight. Maybe, or you know, I don't know, is there a God? I don't think I'll get quite that heavy, but that sort of thing, taking some of life's conundrums and thrashing them out in a walk. I think walking is a great place for that sort of thing, and I thought that would be quite nice to share that in a sort of vlogging type of way. So that would be good. I watched a video the other day of a chap who, I think he was an Iranian chap, and he learnt English and he knew English, and he was in an English city but overseas somewhere, and he said he went to university and didn't find the university particularly good, and he found it dull and he wasn't inspired. So I don't know quite what inspired him, but somebody said to him, you should read a book a week. That's the best way to learn things. And so he did. He read one book a week. Now, because he was at university, so instead of doing the books that they were giving them to read, he was reading books that he preferred to read. But he found that at first he started with easy, simple books, and then later on he got into more profound and around the various parts of the subjects that he wanted to read. But it took him off into rabbit holes that he hadn't thought of, and it gave him a completely different viewpoint than what was being pushed down him through the universities. And he said it expanded his mind no end. I thought it was an amazing thing to do. So he would sit there in the lectures reading the books and not actually listening or paying any attention to the lecture, but for all intents and purposes he was just looking at the textbook as he was listening to the lecture, as everybody else might have had the textbooks on that thing, but he read his own thing. And he found it really, really beneficial, and it changed his mind on a whole load of things that had been the perceived wisdom, if you like. And I thought, well, I can't read a book a week. I just don't have the physical time to do that. But I do like reading. So I want to, if I can, get my reading a bit more up to speed and do a few peppered throughout the year, some book reviews about books that have inspired me and talk about them in greater depth. So that's sort of it for our Sunday chat today. Just a reminder that if you are a patron of the Vobes and you support me financially, you should be able to, you would have had a sign up to the mailing list. And on the mailing list, you'll get a podcast now every Sunday, usually about 9 o'clock, if not before, which gives you the In Conversation With, where I have a conversation with one of my listeners, viewers, or somebody else who I can persuade. And we chat for about 45 minutes about nothing in particular, but about a lot. And it's just an interesting conversation. And anybody who's been a patron will tell you that actually they're working out quite nice. If you would like to be one of those people who I'm in conversation and we just chat about a range of subjects and just see where it takes us. I love conversation. I think it's great. It's not an interview. It's just a general, what do I think about this and what do you think about this? And, oh, isn't that interesting? Have you thought about that? Yeah, and I'll tell you what's interesting about this, and so on and so forth. That's really all it is. But it's absolutely fascinating listening to conversation. So if you'd like to be somebody in conversation with, if I could get my title out, then do let me know. Email me. richard@vobes.com is the email address. Anyway, that's it. I hope that you have a fantastic Sunday or the rest of the week or whenever you're watching this. And let's hope that 2021 is a great year for us all and we can get rid of all those horrible things from last year and look forward to some exciting things this year. Anyway, I've been Richard Vobes. This has been my Sunday chat. Take care and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.